Hey everyone, it's Frightening Viper here. So, FNaF Secret of the Mimic has been out for a couple months now, and there's been a lot of discourse about it, and it comes from two sides, which I will be calling purist and enjoyers, to not disrespect anyone. Before I go any further, what I said in this video are my opinions, and I have no intention to disrespect either side. And I hope you do the same as well. And if you're going to discuss this in the comments or anywhere, please be respectful and civil. So get started with the enjoyer side of things, which is the side I'm on. Enjoyers are people who love FNaF, where they started with the first games or are new. They enjoy what comes out and give respectful criticism things they don't like Security Breach's lack of direction and how FNaF 3 wasn't that scary. But overall, love the aspects they love and dislike the aspects they don't, and have respectful discussions about those certain aspects. While purists, from what I've seen, are the complete opposite and the main point of what I want to talk about. And I feel like I have to say this, I got into FNaF when the first game came out. Purists are people who started the series with the first couple games and dislike anything past UCN and says that FNaF should have ended at 6 in UCN, which, I mean, well, it did. That was the end of both the Scott-made era of games, where it was just him who made the games on Click Team, and the end of the Afton saga, with the souls of the children finally being set free and William Afton being tormented by the vengeful spirit, or at this place, moved down to somewhere much, much worse. Now we have the Mimic saga, with new characters and new antagonist, the Mimic. Now Secret of the Mimic is a really good game, my favorite in the series both gameplay-wise and story-wise, and is a massive improvement over Security Breach in many ways, like gameplay, story, and horror. But purists hate it and say it's not FNaF, and I'm gonna go over the reasons why and discuss them. Reason 1, it's not made by Scott. While it's not developed by Scott, he's the one who wrote the story, and you can see that in the credits of Secret of the Mimic. And I see so many purists not knowing this and hate on the game's story, simplifying it down, getting so many things wrong, and saying that the Mimic is a traumatized robot, which it's not. It was made to play with Edwin's son David while he worked, and one day, David was hit by a car running out into the street to get his ball. After that, Edwin saw the Mimic acting like his son, and even speaking in his voice, and out of grief and rage, beat the Mimic, and the Mimic did what it was programmed to do, and it mimicked rage and violence. Also getting things wrong, which I'm pretty sure we all did at first, but some people think that Henry and William stole everything Edwin made and didn't make anything themselves, which is not true. They contracted Edwin to help with some of the designs like the spring locks, and well, William did take stuff from Edwin, like his house after he died, and maybe even more. Henry didn't, or at least I think so, and they both made Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. Reason 2, it's not at a Freddy's location or a pizzeria. This point I think is a dumb argument, because FNaF 3 was in a horror attraction based off the events of Freddy's. FNaF 4 took place in a house, and this location was in Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental. So this one doesn't make any sense. Reason 3, it doesn't look like FNaF. They say this because it doesn't look like stuff that would be at a Freddy's location, because Mary's Costume Manor is a place where companies can rent, buy, and contract animatronics and costumes from here. It's not all meant to be for Freddy's. It's meant to be for multiple places, and Fazbear Entertainment contracted MCM, Murray's Costume Manor, to make stuff for them. Reason 4, none of the original characters are here. This goes back to reason 3, and there are old characters here in a way. Foxy, Chica, and Roxy are here, and yeah, while other characters like Freddy and Bonnie aren't here, that's because this isn't a Freddy's location, and Freddy's didn't exist at this time, or well, it was in the process of being made and concept. And like I said in reason 3, this is MCM, not Freddy's. And it's not only the origins of Edwin, his family, and the Mimic, but also how Fazbear Entertainment and Afton took everything from him after he died. Afton even took his house. And just because Freddy's not the main focus of the game, doesn't mean it's bad or not FNaF. Freddy wasn't the main focus of FNaF 3, Sis Location, or 6. It's okay to go off to other characters without the main character of the series as long as it's done well and ties into the wider story as a whole, and especially like this one, sets up the new antagonist. Reason 5. It's all sci-fi and not supernatural. Yeah, I get it if you prefer supernatural aspects over sci-fi aspects, and that's okay, but that part of the story is over now. The souls of the children are free and Afton is finally dead and completely gone. Now we have the Mimic, something that was here since the beginning of everything, may have possibly been in every game without us knowing, and I'm very interested and excited to see where it goes from here. Reason 6. Secret the Mimic and Security Breach only take place in one night. Yeah, it's a bit weird calling it Five Nights at Freddy's and only having to go through one night, but me personally, it's whatever. It's the name of the series and they're not going to change the name over one aspect of the game. It would be cool to have a free roam FNaF game that takes place over 5 nights, and if each night is as long as Security Breach or Secret the Mimic, it would be a longer game, possibly the longest game in the series. Also, I think this is just a weak argument and trying to bring up things just to hate the game. Reason 7. It's not a point-and-click game. I personally find this complaint dumb, and as much as I love the old FNaF games, at some point it would get old and boring, and FNAF 6 and Ultimate Custom Night being the end of the Afton saga and the Scott era is also a good point to move on from Click Team and go into a new type of gameplay. It reminds me of Resident Evil fans that say it should only be like the first games with zombies, fixed camera angles, and tank controls. When tank controls don't work anymore, fixed camera angles only work for certain games and moments, and zombies aren't as threatening when we've dealt with them for several games and have characters that are trained to deal with so much worse. Reason 8. It's made by Steelwool. I don't get the Steelwool hate. Yeah, they screwed up with Security Breach with how buggy it was at launch, AI being kinda dumb, and it's not that scary. And the story being there, and it just feels like stuff comes up out of nowhere when it was never brought up before.
Freddy, it's open, let's go!
No, I cannot exit this facility.
Of course you can! Come on, we can hide you somewhere.
Without a recharge station, my systems would shut down within an hour. It is a safety precaution. It is my design. This is where I must stay. Do not return. It will never be safe. I will miss you.
Freddy, if I leave now, nothing will change, will it? There will be more disappearances.
Yes, I am afraid that is correct. Gregory, you have a choice to make. The door is open, and you can go. Or you can continue to investigate the secrets of the Pizzaplex. I feel that—
And don't even get me started with how bad the Mazer-sized puzzle is. It's the worst puzzle I've seen in any game. But Scott messed up as well. In the second interview Dawko had with Scott, Scott admitted that it was also his fault.
After Help Wanted, we got Security Breach. Were you happy with the release of Security Breach when it first came out?
Security Breach, there's a really big story behind that. That was definitely a challenging period, and a lot of things just didn't align up perfectly for that, and there were a lot of reasons for that. I mean, obviously, I hear lots of studios and things kind of blame COVID for stuff, but there is a reason for that. COVID took well-structured work systems and suddenly scattered them and expected the work to continue to flow, and it just doesn't work that way. From my understanding, I'm pretty sure most, if not every, member of Steel Wool got scattered across the country and were trying to just carry on with the workflow, and it was just really difficult. I think that's really the only example when my idea of how a game was going to go was misaligned with how things were going with Steel Wool, and I had a specific story for this in mind. Okay, for Security Breach, I really did. I had a very specific story in mind, and it is very different than the one that got in the game. And I think a part of that is the way that I conveyed that to Steel Wool, because what I was trying to do was I was trying to tell Steel Wool to do specific things throughout the game, put specific items in specific places, have specific characters do certain things, meanwhile not telling them what the story plot was. Because in my head, I was thinking, okay, when people find this, they will connect this to this to this, and it will all be revealed. And I thought I could do that without telling Steel Wool the story plot. That didn't work out very well because they got all of these pieces and they thought it was their job to connect them in a way that made sense. And so really what you ended up having were the same pieces, but telling completely different stories. And since I was trying to kind of tell a specific story with mine that went a certain direction, they were taking pieces I didn't fully understand and trying to craft a story out of them. And again, I don't blame them for that. I blame myself for that, because I guess what I should have done is just said, hey, here's the story. Here's why these pieces are here. Here's how they're supposed to connect. And I can give you a really easy example for this. And I'm hesitant to say this because I don't like messing with the lore, but I think in this case, it's okay. When it comes to Burn Trap, originally, Burn Trap was never supposed to move. He was supposed to just be something you saw in the corners, or like if you were walking past machinery, you might be able to peek in between two things and see him in the corner or propped up against a wall, almost like a some kind of decaying movie prop, and you never fully understood what his purpose was. And he had a very specific purpose, and I'm not going to say what that purpose was, but realistically, he never moved. Well, obviously that's not what we got in Security Breach. In Security Breach, we got a capsule opening and purple smoke flowing out and him climbing out and coming to get you. And so it's just not quite the same thing. So, but anyway, it didn't turn out the way anybody wanted. But hey, whenever that happens, just like whenever I stepped in it a little bit with FNaF World, me and Steel Wool got together. We were like, look, all that matters now is making things right by the fan base. That's all that matters. We all had the best intentions going on. We all wanted to make a good product, and we went in and we made Ruin for it. And I hope that redeemed the game, and I feel like it did, because I think it was really great. And anything that we do going forward that continues that story or has those same themes, I think we're just going to be in a much, much better situation to continue on.
Both Scott and Steel Wool learned from their mistakes and did better with Ruin. Even though I have my issues with Ruin's gameplay, they nailed it with Secret the Mimic. It's scary, the AI is smart, and you can't just run past it. The puzzles are pretty good and have variety, and the ones that repeat are completely random, and it's scary. But all because they messed up a Security Breach. Their previous game, Help Wanted, which everyone loved, but purists switched up on after Security Breach, and their games after Security Breach are automatically bad. I've seen so much blind hate towards Steel Wool and Secret the Mimic, and people getting so many things wrong, it feels like they didn't even play the game, or are being... Listen, in the end, we all love FNaF. Where you only like the old games, or both old and new games, that's fine. But don't hate on people that love the new games and calling new fans new gen as an insult. It's so ignorant, and shutting them down because they're new isn't fair. It doesn't matter when someone got into FNaF, they're a fan that loves it. And the people that use FNaF VHS to compare it to new FNaF and say it used to be dark and scary, are either people who just got back into FNaF after leaving after the first few games are out, or are new and thinks it's part of FNaF, or people trying to trick new or returning fans and thinking it's official content, when it's not. FNaF VHS is fan-made content. None of it is official. Like I said, we're all fans and love FNaF, and if you don't like the direction FNaF is going in, that's fine, but don't attack other people for liking it. It's okay for a series to go into a new direction as long as it fits the series and what it is. It's okay not to like the direction it's going in, and it's okay to leave a series if you don't enjoy it anymore and feel like it should have ended at a certain point. If you want more FNaF that's like the older games, even though they're not official, there's plenty of amazing fan games that are just absolutely amazing and are some of the best FNaF games I've ever played, and are on the same level, maybe even higher than the official games. There's a series I love but don't play any of the new games because of how horrible the games and fans are treated, and how horrible the company is, and that's Assassin's Creed. And I've accepted that we're most likely never getting a real Assassin's Creed game again. And I just play the games up to Origins. And that's it. Everything after doesn't feel like Assassin's Creed. And the people that enjoy the new games, that's fine. I don't. And that's fine. We're all entitled to our own opinion as long as we don't force ours upon others and attack them for thinking differently. And this goes for everything. Games, movies, shows, comics, anime, books, everything. And if you want to try that new thing again, whatever it is, and see if you like it this time, go right ahead. And don't be afraid of what other people will say. It doesn't matter as long as you enjoy it. That's all you need to worry about. I hope you enjoyed this video, and what I had to say. And if you got something from this video, and made you want to try new FNaF again, or new anything again, and made you realize it's okay to move on from a series, I'm glad I was able to help with that. And we all get nostalgic and miss the old FNaF. Heck, I go back and watch old game theory videos, old source filmmaker animations, how to make FNaF not scary, watching Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, and others like play through the FNaF games. I even know the words to Markiplier's whole intro to his like FNaF 1 video. And it's okay, like if you get that feeling where you miss and get nostalgic for the old thing, don't let that taint your view of the new thing. It's okay to like the new thing, but like the old thing better, or miss and be nostalgic for that old thing on like whatever it is, not just FNaF. Markiplier even says something similar to it here.
I miss it. You know, when you have your favorite food from your childhood or something, and you're eating it, and you've been looking forward to it for a long time, you haven't had it in years, and then you go to take a bite, and you realize that they changed the recipe, and it's not that it's not good, but it's not what you've really wanted, you know, and it sucks to say that, and it probably sucks to hear that, but it's true. I'm not going to be dishonest here, and I don't even know if there's any value in what I'm saying, but you know, I'm just speaking what I feel. So yeah, I think that's what I would equate it to. It's good. It is really well made. Like I said, the developers should be incredibly proud, and I hope they don't take anything from what I'm saying, because obviously I am not, as much as I joke about it, I'm obviously not an authority on anything that has to do with any of this. Oh, my entire USB there. Get me, they heard what I was saying. But, you know, I want to see what the secret is. The secret of the Mimic. I want to see. I do. There's so much that I owe to Five Nights at Freddy's. There is a lot. I never really understood why I was the FNaF guy, in a way. You know, it's funny. I don't think I've ever talked about this. When I was doing the first 20 mode, it was funny because it took me, I forget, it took me 7 hours, 8 hours to do. And the entire time, I remember Daniel and Ryan were downstairs, and they had like just gotten in, they were visiting. And they were just sitting downstairs, you know, watching TV or playing a game. But I kind of like was like, I have to go try a thing. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I have to go try a thing. And they patiently listened to me screaming in rage and agony for 7 hours straight, and then finally when they heard me screaming in joy, and then I came downstairs, it was really cool because they were just like leaning. I remember leaning over the couch and they were just like, yeah, just like fucking, even though they'd been listening to me fail for 7 hours, they were just really happy. Yeah.
And it's not about, oh, this better, that better. It's about the memories that you made and the ones you hold on to. And you look at the new FNaF or new whatever it is, and you make new memories off of that. Have good times with your friends, talking about the game, beating a difficult challenge in the game, getting through it, joking with your friends, playing games with your friends, or watching your friends playing the game or them watching you. It's all about the memories you make and how much you enjoy and love the series. Hey guys, I just want to thank everyone who made it this far into the video, made it all the way to the end. This took a long time for me to make. A lot of messed up bloopers, which I will be uploading. A bunch of like different like cuts and stuff. Issues that, you know, this time I didn't have a lot of editing issues. But yeah, writing the script, putting all this together, getting all the clips and everything, it took a while, and thank every single one of you who made it this far into the video. I really appreciate it. You guys, as always, are the best, and I can't say that enough. So, thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed this new style of video, and I'll be making more types of videos like this in the future. And don't worry, I'm still going to be making gameplay videos. Those aren't going anywhere. And don't forget to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. It'll help me and the channel a lot. And as always, second channel, Discord, Twitter, and everything else down below in the description. And I'm starting a new thing on my Discord server where you can submit video ideas and things you want me to make videos of and games you want me to play. Just please, please, don't ask me to play Amnesia. Please don't. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have an amazing day or night. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.